IRL, I IRL streamer IShowSpeed attempts to buy a wife in Eswatini. Pro Maduro protest erupt across the globe, and Congress is going to vote on enacting the War Powers Act to stop Trump from further military action in Venezuela. And we're also going to talk about Pan-Africanism a little bit and who are the real Pan-Africans and what does that mean. But first, I want to get into this situation with IShowSpeed. Now, yesterday I played a little bit of his content. I got flagged. I don't know how the hell these dudes are flagging content when this guy is super famous and he's all over the place. I don't know how they're doing that, but somehow they flagged my content when I played his content. So I'm gonna try to do it outside of YouTube and play it through TikTok and see if that changes anything. But I've been keeping up with IShowSpeed. People, as you know, I'm a Pan-African person, do a lot of business in Africa, and I really want to see Africa prosper, and more importantly, the people of Africa prosper. I was just on another channel called Search for Uhuru, arguing with a bunch of Africans who left the continent. They now live in the West, and I really feel that a lot of the continental Africans who leave, they really don't want the outside world entering into Africa, because when they go back, they can take whatever little money that they're making in Africa and they can live like kings, while kind of keeping the continental Africans who don't have the means to leave the continent kind of like under their boot, right? As long as they don't know what's out there, they can never expect anything more, right? So IShowSpeed is doing his Africa tour. Many shout outs to IShowSpeed. Really appreciate what that brother is doing. Love it. If you're a Pan-African like me, it's awesome. You love any time a mainstream YouTuber or a major channel goes to Africa and sheds light on the positivity, the unity, and the welcoming atmosphere of Africa. And so IShowSpeed was in a village in Eswatini, right? That country was once known as Swaziland, but the name was changed by its monarch, Mswati, and he changed the name to Eswatini, which is more in line with the ethnic or the cultural aspect of the country. Now, we're not going to play any video because I don't want to get flagged again, but there's a picture. And these women are called the Speed Wives. These are basically IShowSpeed's wives that he somehow purchased or married when he was over in Eswatini, which is the traditional African culture custom. A man will go to the father. He will express interest in the daughter. The father will determine a dowry, how much you need to pay to get his daughter to marry his daughter. And Speed went through that whole process. I don't know if it was serious or it was just for jokes, but he went through that process with the father of these women. Now, why I'm bringing light to this is because soon as you see IShowSpeed doing this, you have a bunch of African Americans in the comments. They're calling themselves FBA, and someone made a comment that really, it really didn't sit well with me. Someone said, Well, at least Black Americans, at least FBA, don't sell their daughters off for money like these Africans do. And immediately in my mind, I thought first, this person is a hater. And then second, I thought, why don't we sell our daughters off to qualified husbands who value our daughters so much that they're willing to pay a monetary sum in order to attain their hand in marriage? I think the guy thought he ate with that ignorance and that insensitivity to these people's culture. But in reality, he really just made a statement that really calls into question a lot of the practices of African Americans. And what I responded to him was, you know what, you're right. We don't sell our daughters off. What we do is we give them over to Pookie and Ray Ray for free of charge. And then we wonder why we have all these women, these single mothers. We wonder why we have all these kids without fathers. We wonder why we have all these failed, toxic, domestic violence filled relationships. Oh, we don't sell our daughters off. What we do is we let them wander out into the toxicity of the world to be preyed on by men who operate like wolves in sheep's clothing. I didn't see anything wrong with what IShowSpeed did. He's a multimillionaire. You know, if he pays the dowry, clearly he sees some value in your daughter. She's 20 years old. He asked her, would she accept him? She said yes. And then he went over to the father, and the father was like, let's discuss it. Let's sit down and talk about it. I really believe there's this thing in America where we think we have the best way of doing everything. But the reality is, if we had the best way of doing everything, we are the best in many ways. It's not even questionable. But if we had the best way of doing everything, why does our society deal with the problems that it deals with? Why is the Black American abortion rate 45% of all abortions in the country? One group that makes up 13% of the population is responsible for 45, almost half, 45% of all the abortions in the country. And it makes me think, maybe if we did observe something like a dowry system, we kind of put some limits on who has access to our daughters and our women. Maybe that's something that can improve the situation. And that's what the point is, right? How many women would love to get the opportunity to be with IShowSpeed? In America, you know what they'll do? You know what they'll do? IShowSpeed shows up in the room, and if he's a freaky dude who gets down like that, they let all the women in the room with him. They'll be doing all types of perverted stuff to get his attention. Limited but not included, including but not limited to sexual acts. There's not a single doubt in my mind that if you took a bunch of 20-year-old women and put them in a room with IShowSpeed, there would be a significant amount of those women who would be willing to go to bed with IShowSpeed at that moment. Hey, do you think that women would be willing to sleep with IShowSpeed like just off the first time meeting him? IShowSpeed just off the first time meeting him, like they met him in a second in the room and they're like, I want to throw some at you. Right. Okay. So I asked my sister. She says she thinks that there will be women who will be willing to sleep with IShowSpeed just off rip. No questions asked. He is who he is. He's celebrity. I'm going to open up my legs. Many of them probably with no condom or protection, right? That's America. That's the superior way of doing it. That's where it's gotten us, right? But understand something. You have a girl living in an African village. She's beautiful, right? She's standing face to face with one of the most famous people on the planet. I think over 50,000 people were watching that stream, if not more. And he says, "How old are you?" And she's like, "I'm 20 years old." And he's like, "Do you got a husband?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, you want to marry me? Can I marry you?" And she's like, "Yo, we need to talk to my dad." If you have a daughter, ask yourself, being realistic, if you have a daughter, or you had to put a bunch of people's daughters in a room with IShowSpeed, and IShowSpeed was like, "Yeah, I want to screw you." How many of those women would say, "Yo, let's talk to my dad"? How many of them? Let's bring up somebody like Drake. Let's bring up somebody like Chris Brown. The girl in the village, walking around on dirt floors, sleeping up under a grass roof, has so much respect for herself that when confronted by a multi-millionaire in proposition, not for sex, but to literally be his wife, that involves some type of commitment. Her first response was, "Let's go talk to my father." And you're going to tell me that our culture is superior to that? There are people's daughters all over America going to school, getting felt up, little boys feeling on their booty, all types of shit. You don't even know what's going on. BJ's in the bathroom, all types of crazy shit going on that these girls out here doing. And these women have access to wealth. They have access to resources. They have money in the bank. They dad got a good job. They mama got a good job. They live in a big, nice house. And look at what they're doing to themselves, all in the hopes of being selected by what we are told is the upper echelon of the available men out here. But the little village girl has so much respect for herself. Do you know what these heifers would have did if IShowSpeed came up to them in America and he was like, "Yo, you want to be my girl? You want to buy?" Man, they would have threw himself on that dude. I promise you, Speed wouldn't have made it to the limo, out of the limo, without having them sexually. I guarantee you. You know it's true. I know it's true. But in the comments, I see FBA. I see Black Americans. "Oh, look at how they just sell their daughters off." What you mean? First and foremost, one of the richest YouTubers, one of the richest streamers on the planet, came to a village in Africa, a village what we would consider poor. And he saw a woman he wanted, and he couldn't just have her on his whim. He has to jump through more hurdles in an African village to get access to a young woman. He has to come with a respectful attitude, and he has to stand face to face with her father and be a man and speak on his own behalf to see if he can gain that woman's hand in marriage. And he has to come with a mindset to commit, not a mindset to rent and move on, not a mindset to hit it and quit it. But if you come to America and we transport that girl to America, Speed could have hit it, quit it, went back, hit it again, dogged her out, put a baby in her, whooped her ass, knocked out her front tooth, beat her daddy up like Blueface did Krishan's dad, and that woman would still be begging for the opportunity to just be in Speed's presence. I'm just asking you, which culture is really superior when you look at it like that? You have to put everything in perspective. We've all been American for a long time. We've all been in the clubs. I used to be a bodyguard. I used to be a security guard in a club. Man, people's daughters getting hit in the parking lot, like right in the open. Sex. Women in the bathroom doing God knows what to men that they just met. But this culture is superior. This culture is superior. We look at them like they're uncivilized. We look at them like they're the barbarians because the dad determines what the cost is going to be for you to have access to his daughter. And you have to come with a mindset of commitment off rip. You ain't going to rent this one, take it for a spin, and then drop it off on the front porch or abandon it over in somebody's parking lot. She ain't gonna come back with a baby with no daddy and don't know who the daddy is. And now the family got to raise and provide for the baby because we don't know who the baby daddy is. She might not be filthy rich, but she's not gonna be sitting in nobody welfare or county office begging for food stamps because she done got out here in the streets and she's just like a little lamb going out to slaughter a sheep among wolves who basically understand that this person is just out here totally unprotected because of the way American society has demonized the father figure or the male role model, especially when it comes to young women and girls. It just seems like everything that we do in America is geared. It just seems like everything we do in America is geared to like making women more vulnerable. If you ask me, the more they think they're being empowered, the more vulnerable they're really becoming, the less protection they really have. You don't want to listen to the rules of your daddy house? You're going to run out in the streets. Your dad whooped your ass or your mama whooped your ass? I don't want my daddy whooping on me. My daddy hit me. Now you laid up with some man in a 10 on Skid Row and he beating the brakes off you every time he gets frustrated. Make it make sense. How does that work? But yeah, now she getting her ass with breakfast, lunch, and dinner by some man who she got kids by now because she was just let out into the world unprotected. No father figure. Ran from the protection and discipline of her father into the abuse of her lover, her baby daddy, some guy who won't even marry her, and then cheats on her nonstop. Right? I'm looking at both sides of the coin. So when I look at this situation and I look at all the millions and millions of people in America who are experiencing this, I look at the culture over there in East Swatini and I look at what happened with IShowSpeed, and I'm like, well, you know what? That's not really all that bad. So these are the Speedwise, and they're doing a dance for him. We got no sound, so you got to look at the screen. But they're doing a dance. I don't know if this was just a joke or if this was real. But this is literally, and I'm not saying that this doesn't exist in Africa with the single mothers and all that. It does. But let me tell you something. The women who you see becoming single mothers in Africa, these are women who ultimately just rejected their culture. They didn't do it. They didn't want to do it the way the culture uh demands. They were just like the girls out here, probably on cell phones, watching TikTok, buying into Western ideology. Met a little boy, ran off to the city, left the village, or left their mom and daddy house, sneaking around while their mom and daddy at work, having unprotected sex, and next thing you know, here goes a baby. As a matter of fact, I know some women who experienced that in Africa personally. As a matter of fact, I put a couple of their kids through school right now. But this is Pan-Africanism. Everybody talks about Pan-Africanism. Sorry, I got my wisdom teeth removed. Everybody talks about Pan-Africanism. Everybody has an issue. You know, they have some negative to say about it. But I don't think Pan-Africanism is something that seeks to like crap all over other cultures. I don't think Pan-Africanism is something that even says, yo, you have to do things this way. I think that we live in 2026, and I think you have a right, just as much as you have a right to do everything you want to do. I think that you have a right to embrace another culture or the certain aspects of another culture that you may feel are superior to your own. I really believe that. And I think that's what Pan-Africanism does. It just gives you all this access to really the way your ancestors did things. And it helps you understand why we are the way we are. It's like a little time machine. And you understand certain things about, you gain an understanding of certain things that you do culturally because you're able to get back to the roots and the origins of it. And it sheds a lot of light on who you are as a person. Right? But it does seem like Western culture, for as much as it claims to liberate, for as much as it claims to protect and defend, I believe it creates an incredible opportunity for exploitation. If your mom whoop you, the system comes and takes you away. A mother smacks her daughter, or a father slaps his daughter, the system comes and takes them away. And you ain't gonna be putting your hands on her. Next thing you know, she's prostituting her body out on Figueroa, getting slapped every day by her pimp. I'm sorry, but I prefer daddy slaps to pimp slaps. Because when your daddy slap you, he's slapping you out of love, in fear that something gonna happen to you. When the pimp slaps you, he slaps you out of resentment and anger because you don't got his money, so that he could feed his drug habit. There's so many things in the West that are just totally lacking context. And many times here, we just go for what sounds good or what makes us feel good, like makes us feel like we're helping people. But we don't really realize that as much as we want to help them, we don't realize that we could really be hurting them. And we could be, quote unquote, saving them from the rod of discipline from their father, but condemning them to a lifetime of suffering under abuse, manipulation, sexual abuse, all that. Because they start running with the wrong crowd. But yeah. So now let's talk about the situation with Nicolas Maduro. People are coming out around the world, apparently, because I see a lot of footage and there's really a lot of context missing. But they're saying that there are people who are coming out in defense of the South American dictators, in defense of this brutal dictator. Now, when it comes to the people who defend Maduro, I'm telling you that these Americans, the minute they tell me that they support Maduro and Maduro should be freed and all this stuff, I just know they're dishonest people, right? I even have friends who I thought had common sense. I even have friends who I thought had common sense now saying, "Oh, we support the War Powers Act, right? We want to take away Trump's ability to do further military strikes in Venezuela, right?" These same people were saying 2 years ago that we need to let the Venezuelans come into America and seek asylum because they were under the rule of a brutal, oppressive dictator, right? Like, let that sink in. Let that sink in. So they understood 2 years ago that Maduro was an oppressive dictator who was murdering and slaughtering his people and rigging elections. They understood that. But now, because Trump went and arrested Maduro, they're saying that Trump is a war criminal, even though there has been a bounty on Maduro's head for over 10 years. It was 15 million, then it went up to 25 million, and last it was set at 50 million. And Trump said, "Oh hell, I'm just going to go in and get him myself." And once Trump did that, oh, Trump's committing war crimes. Like, I see these politicians like Rand Paul and all these dudes, they literally just play both sides of the aisle. Rand Paul, "Oh yes, I'm going to vote for War Powers Act." Rand Paul is jealous of Donald Trump. He's jealous of Donald Trump because Donald Trump is a political outsider who came in and achieved more than he's ever achieved and more than his father's ever achieved, really. And when you look at people like Rand Paul, they feel like the American people owe them. Like, we should be grateful that, they lord over us. He's entitled. His dad was a constitutionalist. He pretends to be a constitutionalist. But every chance he gets, he votes against the American people. Senator Kennedy wanted to pass a bill that said that as long as the government shut down, Congress doesn't get paid, which incentivizes Congress to open up the government, which incentivizes them to go to the table, negotiate, and get the government open so the American people, so the business of the American people can be done. Rand Paul voted against that. Well, if he's this conservative that everyone loves, why would you vote against something that incentivizes the members of Congress and the Senate to get to the table, negotiate a budget, so they can continue going about the business of the American people? No, he didn't want to. Because what you got to understand is Rand Paul is a part of the Washington swamp. He literally, that's the only high ground he has. He needs the swamp to keep existing, because only against the backdrop of the Washington swamp, that's the only backdrop against which Rand Paul can look good. And nobody could defend this stuff. Nobody could explain to you why we need to institute the War Powers Act. They can't explain to you why they don't want the president to be allowed to stop drug flow into the United States. Let me tell you something. They are trafficking drugs into the United States from Venezuela. Why would you strip the president of the United States of America of his ability to stop the flow of drugs into America, unless you have something to do with the drugs that are coming into the United States of America? Why would you do that? Why are you stripping the president of his power in the name of protecting criminals? Explain it to me. As a matter of fact, I want to send the link to my friend Jakari, because he's one of the ones, "I support the War Powers Act." he's just a socialist, right? He wants to get a handout. That's what it is. He thinks he wants the government to take ownership of the means of production because he's dumb enough to think that that's going to result in a handout for him, a freebie, when we know that socialism don't work nowhere on earth. But he's willing to stem the tide. He's willing to strip the president of his powers, all in the name of what? What does he gain? And this is what I ask everyone. What do you gain from stopping Trump from striking Venezuelan drug cartels and South American drug cartels? They sit up and complain about the narco terrorism. They complain about fentanyl. They complain about the bombs lying in the sides of the streets everywhere you go. But then when you get a president who actually wants to do something, they're ready to fight against the guy. They're ready to go against the guy. And that's why I keep telling you, if you say America is corrupt, it's because the American people are corrupt. It ain't just the leaders. Leaders need corrupt people to lead. Because if people are not corrupt, they will not allow themselves to be led by corrupt leaders. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. There are many Americans, you don't want to accept it, you might not want to acknowledge it, but there are many Americans who have a corrupt mindset. They will defend degeneracy. They will defend evil. Because inside they're degenerate. Inside they're evil. And they're just masquerading as these good people. They want you to believe they're good people so you could let your guard down, so they could take advantage of you. Go in the past of any of these people saying they want to strip Trump. I guarantee you find a lot of dirt and degeneracy. And they use this idea of, oh yeah, well, Trump works for Israel. I'm done with the anti-Semitism crap. I've realized in my short time on this planet, people use Israel as an excuse to support degenerate things and get away with it. When they said Israel was killing children in Gaza, we're supporting them killing children in Gaza. Da, da, da. So they supported Iran against Israel, and they used the children dying as the excuse. Well, now Iran is over there killing children. It's killing its own children and its own people. The Iranian National Guard is shooting into crowds of people, even hitting children. Where are these people who turned against Israel and said, well, what about the children? Where are they now? Did they turn against Iran because Iran is now killing children? No, they're not going to do that. Because at the end of the day, these people don't care about children. They keep talking about the Epstein files. Well, you want to release the Epstein files, but when the Epstein files are getting released and they say, let's redact some of the names because the victims don't want their names to be exposed, you scream and say, well, they're still hiding something. Well, the Democrats that you voted for had the chance to release the Epstein files. They would have had to redact names too. The only reason they don't have a problem with what Epstein did, because I promise you, whatever Epstein did, 20 times worse is happening in Iran. 20 times worse is happening in the Gaza Strip. Trust me, if you want to talk about kids, right? They only have a problem with what he did because of his last name, Epstein. That's it. They don't care if Bill Clinton did it because his last name's Clinton. They don't care if Joe Biden did it because Joe Biden's last name is Biden. But let his last name be Finkelstein, and now they got a problem with it. Me, I don't care about Israel or anything else, but I am not arbitrary enough to where I'm going to let one person get away with something because of their last name. I'm gonna let one person get away with something because of their last name, and let another person and try to hold another person accountable with it because of their last name. They only care about it because it's Jewish people doing it. And so they're so busy looking at the Jewish people, they let the American people, the black people, they let them go right on by, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They don't care. And if you have enough, awareness to see that, oh man, you a coon, you a bootlicker, you bootlicking Trump, yada 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 yada. I don't accept that. I don't need social media money that bad to try to, you know, throw my mind in the trash so I could accept this nonsense. I'm going to continue to call it like I see it, even now. I'm telling these people to come up. They're not going to come. You think these guys are going to come up? They won't. They won't. Yeah, they're mad because the Democrats refuse to do what Trump's doing. And as soon as Trump's gone, there's going to come a Democrat who says, oh, I'm going to do this, and do it. And it's going to be the same stuff Trump doing, and they're going to be cheering for it. I guarantee you. Nah, Lewis. All right. Hey, let me give you guys the link to come up. Lewis, he's going to come up and tell us how Trump is all over the Epstein files. See, because I read the witness statements. There's not a single witness who said that Trump did anything wrong. The same witnesses who said they wanted their names redacted from the Epstein files. They don't want their identities known. The main witness, Gouffre, the one who's dead now, she said Trump never did anything wrong. So the women who were involved say Trump did nothing wrong, but a bunch of people on the internet gonna say, nah, but he really did though. Okay, but you gotta prove that. If the victim says this person did nothing wrong to me, this person was cool, they never did anything to me. How do you then override the testimony of the victim just because you want that person to be wrong? I don't get that. Did you learn anything from the Cassie trial? Cassie was saying Diddy did the stuff to her. But because they didn't have enough proof, Diddy basically got off. How much more so do you think Trump will get off when they start introducing evidence where the victims themselves are saying, yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein, Bill Clinton, Prince, whoever, they did this to me. But Trump, I met him a few times. He was friendly. That's all I'm saying. And you guys keep trying to tell me, Brandon, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Give me the proof. Show me. I don't want to hear, oh, his name's all over the Epstein files. How do you know when you've never read the Epstein files? How do you know? I grew up, I was a Jehovah's Witness, right? And there's a scripture that really comes to mind. When I think of this, there's a scripture in the Bible that talks about a person who bears false witness, right? And bearing false witness basically means you accuse someone of doing something, but you have no proof. You adamantly say, oh, this person did this, but you really have no proof of it, right? And to me, there's a special place in wherever we go that's bad. I think there's a special place for people who do that. If you look at the Bible and you go to Exodus, the 20th chapter, we can go there real quick. And this is why I think a lot of black people still really need the church, because a lot of us just don't know how to live right without some type of something to guide our moral compass. And I lose a lot of friends over stuff like this because I'm not going to lie. If you lie on someone else, I believe you'll lie on me. If you lie on someone else who you don't even know, how much more so would you lie on me if you felt like it would benefit you? Right? right there, as part of the 10 Commandments, it says right here. This is in the 10 Commandments, the basic stuff. It says, Exodus 20:16, you must not testify falsely when you are a witness against your fellow man. Anybody who you hear saying, oh, Donald Trump's a pedophile, Donald Trump did this, Donald Trump's in the Epstein files, ask him to show you. Even now, there's people leaving because they love lies. They love lies. So they want to leave. They don't even want to hear it. They don't want to hear the truth. They don't care. Because as long as they get to keep believing that with no proof, it don't do nothing for them. It doesn't do anything for them. I'm telling you, it's not going to do anything for them. But they'll keep on clinging on to it. My friend, oh, the Jews this, Jews that. I just hit him. I wanted him to come up here. He won't. They used to love to get up here and talk. But the more they kept spewing the lies, and they kept spewing the lies without truth, right? The less they want to come up and talk about it. Because the reality is they've been indoctrinated. Prince Lewis, what's up, man?
Yeah, what up, man? You know, I don't agree with you, this Trump stuff.
I want to ask you, what proof do you have that Trump is on the Epstein files?
Well, he is all over the Epstein file because he didn't release it when he said he's going to release him. All right.
So that means he's in it.
He was releasing it drips and drabs.
So that means he's in it.
Right. Well, obviously he had something to hide.
No, that's not obvious. That's not obvious.
It is. All right. All right. When he fell out with his friend, that racist guy from South Africa, what's his name? I've forgotten his name. Right. That's one of the first things he said against.
You're talking about Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. That's one of the first things he said against Elon Musk. Is that he's all over the Epstein files. Listen, all them people up the top are, but I know he's got something to hide because he always hesitates.
So in
right?
2009,
why don't he just release the stuff? Release it all.
So in 2009, the detectives. This is before Trump ever ran for president.
Yep.
In 2009, the detectives who investigated the Epstein files, who talked to the witnesses, talked to the victims. There's a video on YouTube right now where they said they talked with Donald Trump. All the witnesses said that Donald Trump never did anything to them. They said Trump was a good guy. They barely ever saw him. The detective who said that Trump was the only person who responded to their request to meet, and Trump gave him all the information he had and told him if they need anything else, just simply call him. Right. The people who said that Trump did nothing wrong, these are the investigators.
Right.
Their word means absolutely nothing. And on top of that, the victims. So a woman is saying Prince Lewis never did anything to me. He was cool. But I'm saying, no, Lewis definitely did something to you. How do you go further than the witness, the victim? Right. How do you know more than the victim knows?
Trump said it in his leading up to the election as part of his pledge to the MAGA people who you're part of, that he was going to release all the Epstein files, and he didn't do it.
Listen, you could keep using that. Listen, you could keep using that. But what I'm telling you is
that's the facts of the matter. When he got into office, he did not release them files.
Let me ask you a question.
He released it in drips
Let me ask you a question. So for a fact, the victim said Trump never did nothing to him. That's a fact. For a fact, Trump did not release the Epstein files immediately when he got into office. by the way, you do know is a Democrat judge who is blocking the release of the Epstein files.
I know the dirty
Okay,
works of the Democrats. I'm not talking about them.
Okay, no. So you keep saying Trump didn't release the Epstein files, but there was a Democrat judge blocking them. Then when they unblocked the Epstein files, within 2 days, Trump released the Epstein files. So what are you
release
talking
all
about?
of it. He didn't release all of it. Now the bit I affected him, he didn't release
The
all
only
of it.
things they did, the only thing they redacted was the shit that had the victims' names in it because the victims asked that their names be left out.
Bro, I
I'm
don't
asking you.
listen.
So if a woman says this man did nothing to me, that doesn't mean anything to you.
Listen, what would have been the best thing to do?
I want you to I want you to answer my question first. If a woman says out her own mouth, this man never hurt me, never touched me, I never even met him, that means nothing to you. That means nothing to you.
Most of these so-called women can't be trusted for nothing. So I don't care what they say.
So
the thing,
okay,
you gotta
so you don't care what the victims say, but then, but listen, let me say this. Wait, let me say this. So if you read the Epstein files, and in the Epstein files, the victims say Trump did something to him, then you would believe what they say?
No, the thing is, I'm not worried about what the victims and all that is. He made a promise to the American people, too much he gets in office, he's gonna do that, and he didn't do it. And that's how I know the man's dodgy.
Hold on real quick. Hey, look, this guy on my channel just said, I said the women themselves said Trump didn't do nothing to them. So them saying Trump didn't do nothing. Hold on.
All of it. Everything.
So I said the women saying Trump did nothing to them don't mean nothing. He said, no, you can't believe nothing most of these so-called women say, right?
Listen, people are being paid by big money to come up and with pure rubbish. Just to throw people under the bus and so on and so forth. We saw the pathetic ways the Democrats carried on.
So can people be paid? So can people be paid big money to lie on people who are rich?
Of course, they do all the time. Other rich people pay them.
So if you do get the women to say that Trump did something to them, you can't trust them, right?
Listen.
I'm asking you a very simple question, brother.
Mm-hmm.
So the women can't be trusted, right?
Listen, it's not about the women. It's about what he said he's going to do. He just, as soon as he got in office,
are the Epstein files, but he couldn't release it because the judge wouldn't allow it to be released.
When did he ever worry about what a judge has got to say? He just does what he wants anyway.
You can't do that.
Come on, bro.
No, you. I mean, to me, you're kind of moving the goalpost because you're saying out of one side of your mouth, Prince Louis. And I understand this is why you don't come on my channel. You said that you can't trust anything women say. That's what you said. That was your words, bro.
Yeah, that's why I'm not really going by the women and all that. I'm going by what Trump said he was going to release the
but
files.
If you read the Epstein files are nothing more than what the women said.
Okay, I hear you, but I'm not really concerned with the women at the moment. I'm just concerned. As soon as he got in, he should have just done exactly what he said he was going to do without hesitating.
Do you understand that he could not do that because the federal judge would not allow them to open the files?
I don't know why. I don't know any federal judge that stopped him from doing anything he wanted to do.
Yeah, they
got in office. He just ignored every federal judge
because he said that there was fraud in the election, and the federal judges would not hear it, and he had to just give up on it.
All right, fair enough.
Okay.
At this moment, I think Trump is completely under the control of the people that got him elected with big money.
Well, that's the way it's
disappointed in him.
That's the way it's supposed to be. The people who donate to you, those are the people you're supposed to listen to. And right now, as an American, I'm telling you that every single thing Donald Trump does, that's what I want him to do as an American. Okay, is that okay with you? Is that okay with you?
No, because I'm not an American, and when he makes.
But shouldn't a political leader do what the people who voted for him want him to do?
Yes, that's why I'm disappointed in him, because what he said, he was not going to get involved in regime change. He said all that. Okay, that's exactly what he's doing.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Right. What regime did? Listen, okay. Let me ask you a question. I don't know what the fuck
he said specifically. Listen, he's all over YouTube. You can go and see all the. You know how I know this? Because the stupid Democrat supporters on the internet are all pulling it all up, all his receipts up, and I've had to go and double check the speeches he made.
Yeah, you should. Let me ask you a
But he's
simple
not gonna get
question.
involved in foreign wars and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you a simple question.
Mhm.
Okay, let me ask you this question. What
Yeah.
regime did Trump change?
Well, he just gone over there and kidnapped the.
Okay, he went over there and kidnapped Maduro, right?
Oh.
Right?
Yeah. And
Okay,
he's
so
about to
look,
take over Greenland. And he's about to
wait,
take
wait,
over
wait, wait,
Greenland.
wait. Slow down. So he kidnapped Maduro. That's what you said.
Yep.
Okay, Maduro had a warrant. Maduro has had a warrant out for his arrest for almost 20 years. Obama had a warrant for him. Biden had a warrant for him with a reward, and Trump did. Who is currently in charge of Venezuela right now?
Well, it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be any other Venezuelans.
No,
Trump said
I'm
he's
asking you
running.
right
Trump.
now.
Trump.
Right now, listen,
Trump.
no,
America.
right?
He said it. He said
Maduro's
they,
vice
they,
president is in charge, so you're
no,
wrong.
my friend. He said
I
it
get
in a
what you're
press
man.
saying,
conference.
but Prince,
Hello,
you're wrong on this. You're wrong.
brother.
You're
Right
wrong
now,
on this.
right now, Dulce Rodriguez, who
Right.
is Maduro's vice president, is
She
currently
stabbed him in the back.
acting. Listen, man,
Right.
she is currently the acting president of Venezuela. So,
Right.
what regime did Trump change?
Right. Listen.
No,
Trump
I
said it.
want you to
No,
answer
hang
my
on.
questions.
Hang on.
Can you
I'm
just
answering your question.
if someone is your vice president, let me ask you this.
Bro.
If someone is your vice president, are they not a part of your regime?
Yep.
So
Listen
Maduro's
to me.
regime is
No,
still
she's
in
not.
charge, right?
She's not in charge of anything. The one who's in
How do
charge.
you know? How
No,
do you
hang
know?
on. Because Trump said it in a press conference in front of everybody. He said we're gonna run Venezuela from here, and he pointed to J.D. Vance and the other guy, with the war hawk. He said it himself in a press conference.
You're talking about Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, I was Lindsey Graham. I can't
Who
remember
is
his name.
currently the acting president of Venezuela right now?
America runs everything.
They're not
acting.
Why didn't they get rid of Dulce Rodriguez then?
Well, listen, I don't know why, but all I know is that Trump said it himself. He said we're gonna run Venezuela from here, okay?
But
and
you
J.D.
just said
Vance
but
and
you
his
just said
deputy,
Trump is
they
a
the one-
liar. You just
Huh?
said Trump is a liar. You said Trump is a liar because of the Epstein files.
Bro, we've moved on from the Epstein file. I'm
This
not talking
is
about
very
Epstein file
simple.
now, bro.
Like, bro,
I'm not talking about the Epstein file.
so
Venezuela is run from America.
let me
Trump
ask you a very
himself said
simple
it.
question. Do you have evidence beyond what Trump said that the United States is currently running the country of Venezuela?
Trump himself said it. What more do you want?
Beyond Trump saying that, he said we're going
No,
to.
I don't have any other evidence
That
but
doesn't
what
mean he's
he
doing
said.
it already. That just he's saying we're going to.
Bro,
you should have phrased
I'm
it
only
better.
going by what he said. I'm only going by what he said. I'm going by the man's word.
But what regime change has he initiated? The vice president of Maduro is still in charge of the country. So much so that they're doing
vice president will
anti-Trump
do
protests.
right. The vice president will do exactly what Trump tells her to do. Listen,
You should
that
have
vice
started with
president.
that and said she's a puppet. You should have started
Listen,
with that.
that's it. She sold out Maduro, man, my friend. Her and the generals. Come on, man.
Look,
that was all part of the plan. They stabbed him in the back, threw him away, so they can control the oil.
Look. Maduro tried to come to the negotiating table with Trump. So was Maduro a puppet too?
Well, I don't know why he was coming. He was, I don't know why he would do that. But anyway,
because he didn't want to lose his. He didn't want to lose his position.
Yeah, he was definitely
he didn't want to get arrested.
Okay, well, either way, right?
So was Maduro? Listen, so Maduro, was he also a puppet? Because he came begging Trump to meet with him.
Well, maybe because it's like the question that Dinah was asking earlier. Maybe he didn't want to get taken out like Gaddafi or whatever. I don't know.
So basically, your hero, Maduro.
No, Maduro is not my hero.
Listen,
Maduro is not my hero. I'm just fed up with the bullying of America.
Listen, Maduro wanted to work things out with Trump. So that means Maduro was volunteering to become a puppet of the U.S., right?
No, we don't know what he was working out with Trump.
Well, he begged Trump to meet with him.
No, come off it.
He did. That's one thing they left out. Listen, with all the bravado Maduro was doing the last couple of months, if I was a devout, if I was a devout leader, follower of a leader in my country, and he's boasting about let them come, we will stop them.
You got to have something.
Listen, a day before being kidnapped, apprehended, whatever you want to call it, he was literally begging to meet face to face with Trump. That's not a good look.
Yeah, no, leaders do that all the time, though, bro. On the battlefield and all that.
Leaders, what are you talking about? Not all leaders that are actually about what they say they're about. So even if you were to have respect for Maduro, he was also a puppet as well. So whatever person you call a puppet, the face of Venezuela was basically bowing down to Trump regardless. So he clearly knew, listen now, he clearly knew his time was up regardless. And if I was a Venezuelan, I wouldn't be happy cheering and celebrating that the United States is intervening. I wouldn't do that as well. But I'm not going to pretend that Maduro was Castro. I'm not going to even.
That we know. I mean, listen, Eva the man was heavily betrayed. That we know because some of the facts are coming out on the press over here. But because MI5 was working with America for this thing. They work together in a way. The Navy SEALs and the UK Special Forces. I got a friend in there who's retired now. But hear me out. The point I'm trying to make is that he was betrayed and all that. Let's not go into all that. But I'm disappointed in him. If you're gonna give it all the yap, and you got big ships coming across the ocean, you should be meeting them on the battlefield. You should have something.
Who are you talking about? You talking about China, them?
No, I'm talking about Maduro.
He can't meet him, bro. He doesn't have the means to fight the United States military, bro.
Well, you listen. You don't need.
Do you think the UK could fight the United States military? You live in the UK. Do you honestly think the UK would destroy Venezuela in a war, and they can't stand up to the United States military?
And listen to me, right?
No, I want to read this. I want to read this. Donald Trump. Wait a minute. Donald Trump has warned Venezuela's new leader, Delcy Rodriguez. Now, they acknowledge she's the new leader. She could pay a very big price, probably bigger than Maduro, if she doesn't do what is right.
Yeah, they'll assassinate her.
No. So, listen, at the end of the day, Donald Trump is acknowledging her as the leader of Venezuela. If they don't acknowledge you as the leader, let me tell you something about geopolitics. If they don't acknowledge you as the leader, they do not talk to you. They do not discuss anything with you because they feel like you are not in control of anything. Right. Maduro had the opportunity to do us right. He refused to do it. He was making too much money off of selling drugs. Trump.
Okay, I don't know about that.
Trump.
Oh, I know.
Biden. Listen. Oh, you don't know anything about that, but you know everything about Trump with no proof.
No. Listen, I think that's all rubbish. I think that's like weapons of mass destruction.
So you don't think Maduro was a part of the drug cartel?
No.
Bro, where are all the drugs coming from?
It's the weapons of mass destruction nonsense.
No, listen. Even Trump said that there was no weapons of mass destruction. That's something totally different. You don't realize that the CIA has been in South America for over 40 years, and they are 100% certain. Bro, there are movies made about the drugs moving through South America and the United States.
CIA make any excuse to do what they're going to do.
So all that's fake. That's fake. So the coca farms and all that ain't real.
Well, Brandon, I will say we were selective with Venezuela and the drug allegations because you could say the same about China and various other nations. But there's a pecking order with geopolitics. And I don't want to see the Maduros of the world get paraded like he was this big leader, this grand leader. He toed the line. Most of these leaders will tote the line when it comes to the U.S. It's not that I'm in agreement of that, but I'm just saying, like,
they don't want to lose power.
It's a big fluff where these guys don't want to lose power. So they fool their people into believing that they're in charge, but none of them are really in charge, man.
No.
So we use the word puppet too loosely. We use that word very loosely.
Listen, you're not even a puppet. You're just not the big man on campus.
Facts.
That's all it is.
My disappointment with him is that you cannot be this weak and be talking big loud like for many years. Your defense can't be that weak. That you literally cannot even 130 odd planes. You can't shoot one down. You yourself couldn't even pull out a gun when they come into your damn house. You cannot be that weak and be talking like that.
He doesn't want to die. He's a drug dealer, bro. He's not a real diplomat. He doesn't give a fuck about Venezuela like that.
Exactly.
That's what happens when you
point.
have a drug dealer in charge. He doesn't really care about the country. He only cares about the country as much as he can exploit it.
Brandon, drug dealer aside, is just like you said, the power. He didn't want to give up the power, man. The bravado was a facade. He knows the pecking order, and he was calling Trump to tote the line. That's what happened. It wasn't as dramatic as they painted it to be. The entire, I'm sure, military leadership was in on it.
Yep.
They were in on it.
They stopped him, and he made them rich. He made them rich as well.
That's something we can agree on. I believe that his military was in on it, because how do you let the U.S. troops? They were in a fortress, bro. They were in a fortress, and you didn't hit a single United States troop. They let them in. That's just like when your boy in Ghana got overthrown.
And Nkrumah, it's exactly the same thing.
Not in Nkrumah, and then the other guy. What was the American guy? No, the American guy. No.
Oh, Charles Taylor.
Right. That's what happens. The military, the tribal chiefs, they're in cahoots with the Western powers. And they say, okay, we're going to come and y'all going to let us in. And they say, okay, cool.
And the 100 or so-called troops that were killed was really a civilian guard. You know, people that were brainwashed by Maduro's talking points. And they will give their lives. Yeah, but the actual military troops, there were none that probably died.
They weren't resisting. Yeah,
they knew what time it was.
They know, but I bet you Delcy Rodriguez was in on it.
Yo. She knows.
His whole administration backdoored him.
Yeah, there you go.
No shots were fired, but they killed the president of Haiti when they went up in Haiti.
Facts.
Man, listen, I'm telling you.
Geopolitics is backdoor galore, bro.
Donald Trump is a great president. I don't think anybody who has their head on straight would doubt that. The man is getting shit done. If you're going to do something,
the best president in U.S. history, bro.
No, it's best president in U.S. history is George Washington. But he's the second. Yeah. No one's going to do what George Washington did for this country, bro. Nobody. Donald Trump ain't
one with the Revolutionary War.
John, listen, Donald Trump, God love him. He ain't crossing the Delaware in the dead of winter, bro.
Brandon,
he ain't looking at niggas getting their legs chopped off.
Understand that was a guerrilla ambush attack, bro. Like they wasn't expecting it from the other side. So it's not that.
No, bro. Washington wasn't doing guerrilla warfare. That was the regulars who were doing that. Washington was going muzzle to muzzle, bro, in the field. He was not a guerrilla fighter. You're talking about the militias. Yeah. You're talking about the militias. They were doing that, bro. You got to get up on your history.
I'm talking about there's a general pact where militaries don't fight in the winter. You know, when it's super cold, and they kind of broke that pact.
No, because it was revolutionary. Listen, it was a revolutionary war. Also, the England did not recognize the United States as legitimate military. So it doesn't matter. The point is, Washington crossed the Delaware, and I don't think he did it to attack. I think he did it, wasn't it, to escape in the middle of the night?
But all gas, no brakes. I'm sorry, guys. Go ahead. My bad.
You good?
All gas, no brakes made a great point. You know, people forgot most of our naval forces was already deployed over there. It's a timing thing. We could have got rid of Maduro, long ago. They actually gave him grace, time for him to negotiate. He waited the last minute. So this was going to happen regardless. My thing is, I don't want people, regardless how we feel about U.S. intervention, let's just not make Maduro to be some type of great revolutionary leader. He wasn't.
No, he's not. He's
no Hugo Chavez.
He's Hugo Chavez without the charisma. The guy has like a 7th grade education, bro. He's not anyone who would be qualified to lead anything, bro. He is someone who Hugo Chavez is basically the equivalent of one of these radical socialist hippies becoming president. He was a bus driver, y'all. A bus driver.
Don't knock the bus drivers, man. Don't knock the bus drivers.
Listen, yeah, we know you a bus driver, Lewis. But look what I'm saying. He was a bus driver. He joined a union. He was a loyalist to Hugo Chavez, a yes man, somebody he could
communist leaning.
Right. He was someone Chavez could trust. to do everything he said. And when Chavez was on his deathbed, he handpicked Nicolas Maduro to become to be his vice president. Then Chavez died. Nicolas Maduro became the president. But he's worse than Chavez because Chavez had charisma, which could give people hope. Nicolas Maduro doesn't even have that, bro. He's just like a big dummy, basically, who has learned how to say, he knows how to be fired up at a certain second. Then he goes back to being a goofy, right? And that's why he got overthrown. You think that the people under him, I wouldn't even doubt that Venezuela begins to prosper under Delcy Rodriguez, because women are way more inclined to lay down for authority than men.
You know, Brandon, some people are mentioning the U.S. sanctions that caused the economical downfall of Venezuela, but that's false. There were sanctions since Hugo was there, but Hugo knew how to manage the population, threw him a bone. Maduro, that was his test, and he failed. He failed his people. I will say that. He did.
Yeah, 1/3 of our naval fleet was already deployed. What more could he have done? This sounds like reckless, fringe, revolutionary rhetoric, completely detached from reality. At 100%, I'm with you. The guy was a dead man walking, basically. And why do you have warrants out for someone's arrest if you can't arrest him, Lewis? Why put a warrant out for someone's arrest if you can't arrest him?
I didn't even know there was a warrant out for his arrest, but that warrant don't mean nothing.
Those warrants been out for 20 years, bro.
Yeah,
under
well,
Obama.
No, who issued it?
Biden and Kamala Harris put a bag on his head for $25 million.
Obama put the first one for
right.
$15
It don't
million.
mean nothing.
Wait a minute, listen.
If you're not a Venezuelan, it don't mean nothing.
Listen, Obama put the warrant out for $15 million. Then Biden raised it up to $25 million. Then Trump raised it up to $50 million. Why would the United States put a warrant out for someone's arrest, then have a problem when the person gets arrested?
Because they want to steal the wealth of his country. That's why.
No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking you to point out for me the hypocrisy on behalf of America.
The warrant don't mean anything because he's not an American.
Clearly it does, because he just got arrested.
Yeah, but
Prince, I know you're British, but this is gonna sound cold as hell. Listen. I will land my plane quick. This is gonna sound cold as hell, but I wish more black people practice strategic indifference. We're gonna be loyal to the U.S. for now because we got too many problems going on. So let's just say everything you're saying is right. I'm just gonna be cold when I say this. I could give a damn what's going on with Venezuela. I see a lot of black people coming out here.
That's not a good thing.
If you don't like Trump, there's other things to touch base on why you don't like him. But we're not going to use Maduro. Listen, we're not going to use Maduro to substantiate why we don't like Trump. I'm sorry, but Venezuela and the others could kick rocks. That's how I really feel.
Right. That's because
the reality is this. The reality is this. United States. Wait a minute. United States imperialism brings wealth to Black America. Black America then turns around and takes that wealth to Africa. Whatever is good for the United States,
brother, come on.
Whatever, listen, not a single Venezuelan is going to give a squirt of piss for Africa, okay? The people who care about Africa are Black Americans who go there, invest, build. You know, we over there doing it.
Facts.
Anything that puts money in our pocket is good for Africa because we invest more at this point than even a lot of the Africans who left Africa. Many of them have just totally given up on that. Or let me say this. Or they only invest with their own family. I know a guy who's Nigerian. He's a doctor. He only does stuff with his family. They steal money from him. That he sends cars. He sends 5-10 cars over there a year. The cars break down. He literally trained some dudes in his village to be mechanics to fix the cars. The guys don't fix the cars. They sell the cars to other people for pennies on the dollar. They screw them over. I told the guy, man, you need to stop practicing nepotism. You need to invest with some people who you aren't related to. He said, no, I can only invest with my family I'm not investing. At least Black Americans go there. We're not bound by the tribal bullcrap. So we spread the wealth. We invest all over with different people. And that's what's going to bring Africa up. Tribalism has failed Africa. It's saved Africa in many ways, but economically it's failed Africa. So you need the Black Americans. The Black Americans need the African continent, and whatever is good for Black Americans is good for the African continent. So American imperialism, taking the resources, that creates opportunities for Black Americans if we choose to exploit them, and then we take that wealth and bring it over to Africa. You can't argue that.
Brandon,
No.
you know, my mother and father's been here since. Hold on one second, Brandon. My mother and father's been here. Hold on one second. My mother and father's been here since they were like in middle school. So they're acclimated with the States, and they tried to give back. My father's a minister, as I said before on this channel. They opened an orphanage in Haiti, tried to give back. The structure with tribalism is a farce, man. It's a farce. These people will rob from you, steal from you. But the grand point of what I'm saying is the Venezuelans aren't going to look at the benefits of how blacks see what's going on with their country, their nations. It's for them. So you have to be selfish, Prince. I'm assuming you're black. You almost sounded like, okay, you almost sounded like you gave a damn about what's happening. Like who, in the end,
I do care about the people in Venezuela.
Listen, Prince. This is the problem, though. What I'm trying to tell you, Venezuela could give a damn about you. A lot of these black nations even could give a damn about one another. So what makes you think it means something that you're going to present a great argument about why Trump was wrong to, you know, whatever you want to say, abduct, kidnap, apprehend? Listen, wait, here's my question. Do you live in England?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the problem. See, I live in the United States. The problem is this: you can't see it from anyone that's black that's living here. I could care less what Trump does with nations like that if it's gonna benefit me regardless. At least I can admit that I'm selfish like that, and definitely off of the backs of any Latinos.
Louis,
I'm sorry,
Louis. Let me ask you a question. This is a real question. You live in the UK, right? Do you think the Palestinians in the UK care about you?
There you go.
Of course they don't.
Okay, so why are you guys caping and defending Palestinians?
I tell you why, because those of us in Africa have suffered at the hands of the policies of this white man.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The Palestinians, listen, the Palestinians would join the white man in oppressing you in an instant if they were given the opportunity.
I know the history.
Okay, so why are you? So why do you defend your enemy in the name of solidarity?
Madness.
It's the same. It's Brandon. It's the same why they pick up Gaddafi.
Right, we're going off subject. Listen.
No, we're not. We're asking you. Why are you so? Why are you hating Trump?
Because I tell you why. Because the policies of the Western world.
Let me tell you something.
Okay, have crippled everybody else.
Do you realize that Donald Trump has done more for the black community than any president in the last 40 years? Do you realize that?
I can see where you're coming from. But listen.
No. I need to know if you are 1,000% unapologetically down with black people. Because if you are 100% unapologetically down with black people, you would support the person who has done more for the black community than any other president in 40 years, and not trying to take sides against him with a bunch of Venezuelans who couldn't give a shit whether you live or die.
He made sure not a single black person is in his cabinet. I know that.
He does have a black person. The head of HUD. The head of HUD is black. The head of HUD is black.
Hear me out, bro. You're gonna let me speak on your show. Let me speak on your show.
No, listen. This is the thing with this channel, and I'm gonna let you talk. I'm not gonna say nothing else. You have to know what the hell you're talking about on this channel.
You know what I'm talking about.
Listen, Dinus lets you guys. No, you don't. Dinus lets you guys get away with spewing fake facts and lies.
No, I'm not speaking lies. He's got no black. He never selected any black person in his cabinet.
Louis, are you listening to me? Are you listening? He doesn't
have any black person near him.
You don't know what you're talking about,
right?
Do you accept? You don't know what you're. Do you accept? Hello. Do you know who Scott Turner is? Do you know who Scott Turner is?
I don't care, and I don't know him. Listen to me.
He's black, and he's in Trump's cabinet. So what are you talking about?
What? What? We got one black person.
Listen, he used to be in the NFL. He's the head of housing.
He listened to a racist man who brought in the Afro Forum. Who brought in the Afro Forum and told. Right? Do you believe that white? Listen, do you believe that white people have been persecuted
Trump
in South
doesn't
Africa?
have any black people in his cabinet. And the reason why Trump only has one black person in his cabinet is because you have black people who are afraid to be in Trump's cabinet because they didn't want to get turned on by black Americans. That's the fact.
Not true. Because racist people like Elon Musk made sure that there were no black people around.
You know how many black people work for
They were
Tesla,
encouraging him. They were encouraging him, giving him fake news that South Africa's whites are being persecuted. He opened the gate for white South Africans to come to America, okay, and then told all the other people get lost. Okay, he's only letting white people come into America. Nobody else outside that race is coming to America.
So how did the Venezuelans get here?
Listen. It's quite obvious right now. Before the election, I thought Trump was a better candidate than that stupid Kamala Harris, that rainbow woman. Right? I had no time for them. Okay, but now Trump is getting great. Okay, he's doing this, he's doing that, but then he turns around and completely does the opposite he was going to do, and he goes in Venezuela for the oil for his rich friends who are backing him, giving him money.
They owe us the oil.
Nobody owes you. How they owe you the oil? You see,
do you really want to answer? Do you really want to answer that question?
Brother, listen, once you do that,
do you really want to know
I already know the answer to the question. I already know the answer to the question.
So why are you spewing nonsense?
Hear me out, because you're not allowing me to get my point across.
I am.
It's quite simple that Trump is completely run and controlled by white Israelis. It's quite simple.
No, it's not. No, it's
Straight
not.
up. He's run and controlled by the rich oligarchs.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Jump, move, and that's the problem of the world.
Let me ask you a question.
No, you haven't let me get my point across.
If Trump is run by Israelis, why doesn't Trump let Israel bomb Iran? Israel right now wants to bomb Iran. Trump won't let him.
Bro, when they want to do it, he will let them.
If they control,
do what they like.
Do it now. They want to do it right now.
Listen. You know why? Okay, I'll tell you why. Because Iran knows how to bite back. Because they kicked Israel's ass in that last conflict, boy. They know how to bite back.
Iran's economy is in total collapse.
Bro, come on. They won the last war against Israel, bro.
Iran's economy is in total collapse. Iran's elected officials,
30 of them. CIA on the ground staring at shit.
Lewis, let me ask you a question.
It doesn't matter.
How many Iranian officials died in the last conflict with Israel?
Listen, how many Israelis got bombed the hell out by them bombs that were coming over and the Iron Dome couldn't do nothing?
How many?
Listen, let me tell you something.
It's
the rest of the world,
2026. All I'm saying is, man, sooner or later, let's just say everything you said is true. And listen, I'm open to critique, right? I think all leaders, to a certain extent, are controlled. So let's get that out of the way. My problem is blacks are worried about too many other groups and peoples other than themselves. So initially you came on here criticizing what happened to a Venezuelan head of state. What I'm arguing is we shouldn't give a damn about that.
No, we should.
That's the argument. We shouldn't. No, they shouldn't
care about that. Nobody care about our problems, bro. Why should we care about other people?
Facts.
Because some of us have world views, okay? And what happens in America?
Wait a minute, guys. Wait, guys. You don't have a worldview, Lewis. You have a ideology and an agenda. You don't tell the truth, bro. And then when we call you out with the truth, you just try to sweep it aside. What kind of man does that?
I don't have to say the truth is there in your face.
You said Trump doesn't have a black member in his cabinet. I told you he does. Scott.
Okay, how come I ain't never seen him? Wait a minute. One black person.
You just said that Iran.
Come on.
You just said Iran beat Israel in their last conflict, dude.
They did.
No, they didn't.
The Iron Dome didn't solve nothing,
bro.
Listen, come on, bro.
All right, listen. I'm gonna read this to you. 30 commanders, Iranian commanders died. 11 scientists were killed. 4 to 5 high-ranking government officials were killed, bro. Now,
that's because America supporting them. That's why America supporting them. That's why
they didn't win.
It's an unfair fight to begin with.
That's not the point.
It don't matter. They didn't win.
Listen. I know I ain't gonna get nowhere with you guys because you're Trump supporters. But hear me out. Okay?
Nah, it's bigger than Trump. It's about we actually love our people and we really focus on black people first.
Listen,
That's what it's
how
about.
in the world can you support a group of people who steal the wealth of nations? How is Venezuela ever going to get up there if wicked white people are going in and stealing their wealth?
We
How
don't
does
care.
You're,
That's
and
the
Venezuela
you're
need to
problem.
supporting
get
that.
We don't care.
How
We
does
don't
Venezuela
care.
need to get up here? You
You
live in
should
the
care
UK.
because
The UK
that's
has
how.
pillaged the entire planet, bro.
Bro, you
And
talking
Right.
to a
still go to
different
their
breed of,
museum.
no, we're Black Americans, bro. You talking to a different new breed of people where we don't give a fuck about what's going on with these other countries. We gotta be selfishly American right now, regardless of the differences we have. My nigga, we live here. Our investment is wholly right here in America. I'm tired of you Negroes running around here worrying about people that could give a damn about you. They could give a damn about
They
your
spit
plight.
on you in their country. They spit on black people in Venezuela. Look at how they treat the black
That's
Venezuelans.
not the point we're making here. That's not what it's
Louis,
about.
let me ask you a question. Shout out to Sticks.
Okay, I
Shout
can't
out
stay on
to,
too long.
wait a minute,
I gotta go and do
hold on,
something. So
hold on.
I got about 5 minutes.
Shout out to Sucker Season LA. I got one last question for you. Sucker Season LA said this: how many black people are in China's regime? How many black people are in Maduro's regime? How many black people are in Russia or Iran's regime? You guys cape for these countries. They're anti-black, bro.
China did not enslave black people,
China
my friend.
is anti-black, bro.
Venezuela did not enslave black
There
people.
are Chinese people on video beating the shit out of
Oh,
Africans in
please,
Africa.
give over.
This is
Come
true.
on, man. That's a weak
Bro,
argument, bro.
China won't even let black people into their country.
Bro,
China is anti-black as hell.
China is our biggest trading partner in Africa, bro.
It doesn't matter
So
about
what does that
trade.
mean?
Listen.
So does that mean they're not anti-black because they're the biggest trading partner?
The Chinese have done more. The Chinese have done more for black people in Africa than any white man has done.
They're the biggest online abusers as well. They be beating the shit out of Africans there in Africa.
All the improvement
it's
I've done.
Videos to document.
Would you let me speak? All the improvement that has come. All the improvement that has happened in Africa in terms of development in the last 30 years has come because of China, not because of America. Because all they want to do
and all the corruption,
they build
all the corruption that has happened in Africa,
all the overfishing,
that's because of the white man.
No,
that's
white
pollution. All the pollution came from China, overfishing and overmining. Yeah, don't stop
over.
there.
Give over,
keep
my
going.
Friend.
Don't say all the good that they do, and say the whole thing. Give me the good, the bad, and
but y'all don't see the problem in this. This man literally just showed you our problem. He can big up what the Chinese or the whites doing in Africa. Tell me what the blacks are doing in Africa. Tell me that. So we have a big problem.
They're building a nation.
You just said China did that. You just said China did that.
China made the investment. Okay. They assisted us. You guys didn't assist
predatory lending.
You guys didn't assist us.
Lending. They did predatory lending to African countries, and you know that, Louis.
Well, it's better than what you're doing. It's better than what America's doing.
Both sides of your mouth,
America ain't doing shit.
The problem is, I don't hear.
Everybody do me a favor. Everybody do me a favor. Let's all be quiet because I'm going to read this to you. The United States is consistently the #1 single country donor of foreign aid to Africa.
We don't want no stinking aid. We don't want a stinking aid.
Please be quiet. Can you?
We don't want America's stinking aid.
Yeah, can we? But you just said China is doing this. But you just said China is doing this.
Yeah, they're helping us develop. You guys ain't.
Listen. No, you sound. Wait a minute. Look.
Let me live in the UK. You don't live in Africa.
Costa, let me finish. Providing billions annually for humanitarian relief, food, water, shelter, development programs, health, food security, and energy. Though China is a significant contributor, focusing more on infrastructure loans, the U.S. leads in overall humanitarian assistance, funding life-saving support for refugees, conflict victims, and health crisis like HIV/AIDS through initiatives like PEP.
A load of rubbish.
Let me say this: Somalia was broken from civil war. How many Somalians did the Chinese let come over to their country to live there?
Who gives a damn about the Somalis? We're not talking about Somalia.
See, bro, you're a hypocrite, bro. You are a hypocrite, bro.
Islam is what's killing Somalia, my friend. Islam is what's
There
killing
is
Somalia.
people in China. The Uyghurs are Islamic.
Listen. We have our experience to go by, and all our top leaders were overthrown by the CIA. So we ain't gonna be supporting no America.
All
man.
your top leaders were overthrown by corrupt Africans who
overthrew No. CIA. You know that.
Okay,
You read the book.
So tell me this.
Backdoored by their own people.
Listen, so Mobutu, the guy who killed Patrice Lumumba, he's a white man?
Blaise
Compaoré. He was a CIA plant from America. He was trained by America.
I'm gonna ask you again. Mobutu.
He was a CIA plant.
Was Blaise Compaoré, was he a white
Blaise
man?
Compaoré?
America, baby.
Let me ask you a very simple question. Was Mobutu a white man? Was Blaise Compaoré, the guy who killed Thomas Sankara, was he a white man?
No, they were trained black men.
Okay,
doing
so
the dirty work of the white man.
Trained by
black men
Sankara
betrayed each
and
other.
trained by Lumumba.
Right?
So black men betrayed each other.
Yeah. We got black traitors, don't you know that?
You one of them.
No, I ain't.
This guy sells us. Listen.
He a fool for a burger.
I ain't.
This guy will sell black Americans out for a
He
goddamn
for a burger.
Listen,
I love Black America. What are you talking about? I love my favorite group is New Edition. What are you talking about, man? I grew up on Ralph Tresvant.
That's because you gay. Listen, look. I love New Edition. You probably shaking your big ass over there on that bus, rolling around listening to New Edition. Lewis about to get fired from his bus driving job listening to New Edition. But listen, Lewis will sell us out for a bunch of
Venezuelans. My dream is to see New Edition in concert before I die.
You'll never see him.
Yeah,
we sending their ass to Venezuela.
Hey, listen, I can't stay on too long. I gotta go. All right.
Wait, Prince, don't leave just yet. Prince, do me a favor. 2026. If it ain't black, it ain't right, bro. Like, leave these other nations alone, bro. All right.
I'm crying about Gaddafi and shit, bro. Like,
listen, I'm down for the black cause back to Africa so we can all uplift
ourselves. But there's always a but, right? There's always a but.
There's always a but.
No. Right? We want Africa to prosper so that we can invite our brothers and sisters to come and join us in the beautiful black world.
You can't come, bro. You can't come.
We're fed up with the damn white man
over
our head all the
these
time.
Other folks, though. You ain't all in, though. We want people not half stepping. We got to be all in, man.
Nah, you know Lewis's problem. He liked them Venezuelan Venezuelan ladies. That's what it really is.
Some of them are thick, though. Some of them are thick, though.
Wait, what did he say? He said some of them are thick, though. I knew it, bro. Bro, be on that.
He ain't never seen a Venezuelan in his life. He living in the UK.
They got some in the UK.
How the hell they get over there?
Yeah, I got some. I know some black Venezuelans. They're also from Trinidad. They're like related. I know a family from there and that. You know, listen. I know the Latinos could be a bit, but come on, man. We can't have people stealing.
If you want to keep it real, the black Venezuelans ain't the ones complaining. If you want me to keep it real with you,
I know a lot of them.
So then you don't need to worry about Venezuela. Don't worry about it, bro. They good.
Getting their money, bro, and they
I just don't like the fact that people's assets being stolen by America who don't. 1% of the population control 90% of the wealth. Come on, that can't be right.
Well, we do. We like it because we live here.
Tell me that we're the greatest, man. I don't mean to rub it in your face, but we're living in the greatest country that ever exists.
Okay, well, I don't ever want to go to America. I'm sorry, I'm just.
Y'all broken by the king and queen. The queen already broken y'all, bro.
People like that who would love him. Everybody would leave if he came in.
King Charles already broken you niggas over there.
No. They're all right. They don't really give us too much trouble.
Lewis, keep paying your taxes to fix King Charles's prostate.
Hey, salute, Prince. Salute, Prince.
The crown jewels, bro.
All right.
Hey, the king of England found out he had prostate cancer. They raised these niggas' taxes, bro, to protect the crown jewels. Crazy. But look, let me get these super chats. Sticks in Sucker Season LA. Salute the channel, bro. My liberal sister threatened to block me because I support Trump in Venezuela. Shaking my head. She's lost for real. Sucker Season again. I sent her this and she lost it. Lives after a week of defending Somali fraud. Now have to defend an authoritarian dictator. And also no kings. Right. It's ignorant, bro. Hypocrisy at its finest. Is my UK brother from Nigeria? If so, how does he feel about what Trump did to save the Christians in Nigeria from radicals? Well, knowing Lewis, he will let every Nigerian Christian get slaughtered just so he doesn't have to give Trump credit. He's that demented. He just wants to argue. But these guys, they abandoned this channel a long time ago because they got tired of getting cooked. Guys, when we are on Dynasty's channel, bro, Dynast lets these dudes get away with spewing this nonsense. But on this channel, they get fact checked and they look stupid.
Well, Dynast just likes, to give everybody a chance to really reveal who they are, bro. And I'm glad like that he offers that, but you're also needed. So it's like we need both. We need a little bit of both. You can't come on here lying, like I don't understand what Africans obsession with like other people is. It's like
anything
if it ain't
that's
Gaddafi,
not black, they're obsessed with it.
Yep.
Yeah, like if it ain't Gaddafi, they trying to big up Chiguiva. If it ain't that nigga, they trying to, bro. Like anybody who ain't black, they looking to him as a savior, trying to lump him with our greats. And I don't like it. I don't like seeing Thomas Sankara next to a damn Gaddafi. Like that it boils my blood.
Cash. People don't like an echo chamber, but I don't mind an echo chamber that says black first. That's all I'm saying, bro. Yeah, it's 2026. Niggas got to get off their knees, bro. For once, I just want to see niggas off their knees. Like Brandon said, them Venezuelans could give a damn about what you going through in the UK, what we going through in America, wherever. So let us complain about what's happening in America, respectfully. Let us complain about it.
These Venezuelans about to let Trump take over their country and come the fuck up. Watch that become a tourist destination in less than 10 years. Just like El Salvador. You saw what was going on in El Salvador? Now look at El Salvador. It's like one of the top 10 tourist destinations in the world now. Why? Because the president over there got with Trump. They got them criminals up out of there. And now look, they making money off of tourism. Let me get G. G, you've been there patiently. Go ahead, my brother.
Yo, what's going on, babe? I'm just gonna say this, especially to that guy Lewis, man. You shouldn't have had nobody on the platform that's not on American soil. Everything he said was wrong. It was disrespectful. You shouldn't allow people like him on your channel at all. To me, that's just my opinion. And another thing about people keep running this fake narrative saying that Trump kidnapped somebody that had a warrant for his arrest. He didn't kidnap you. If somebody comes to your house right now and lock you up for a warrant, they're not kidnapping you. No. It's just that everything that Trump does is that the Democrats and those liberals and these soft people that's against Trump are mad because he's doing everything that they had a chance to do since Sleepy Joe was in there and when Barack Obama was in there. Neither one of them went and got this guy. But they were happy because they were getting paid from the drugs that he was smuggling into the country. But now Trump is here exposing the deep state and draining the swamp. Now everybody is mad and in a panic because you know why? They're next. All the unsealed indictments that Trump released in 2020, he's starting to come back and collect on all of those, unsealed indictments, and you're gonna start seeing a lot of lawmakers. Barack Obama, he's about to testify on Monday in Florida. They having some a court hearing for that. So you're gonna start seeing a lot of these paid puppet deep state presidents and politicians. They're gonna be the ones gonna have it in court. And this is what Trump is doing. So this is why everything that Trump does, people are against. And Lewis shouldn't even be speaking on American politics because he's not from America. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's anti-Trump should be thrown in jail. You should be shipped to Venezuela if you think that it's okay for you to go against your president. You know what I'm saying? Everybody going against everything Trump is doing because they know that the Democrats are done. People are not, us blacks, we're not just voting, you know what I'm saying, for black Democrats and none of that. We are voting for people that's going to do change, that's going to help us Americans, and that's not the Democratic Party. So a lot of these people that get up here and all they do is just bring up this Epstein list, Trump in the Epstein list. That's all they want to bring up. They're not bringing up with everything that he's doing for blacks, everything that he's doing for the economy. You know what I'm saying? They want to bring up and run fake narratives to try to damage anything that he's doing for us American people. You know what I'm saying? I'm black first, but at the end of the day, I'm an American too. So anything that Trump is doing that's going to help me out in America, I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? These Democrats ain't been doing nothing but giving us broken promises for years. And ain't nothing ever happened, ain't nothing ever they never accomplished anything over the years. You know what I'm saying? So I
100%.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like a bunch of bull crap. Even when that's why I'm glad like I got a chance to talk to you because I've been watching you since you've been on I don't want to bring up the other show you used to be on.
No
I
jumper.
don't want yeah, I don't want to bring up their name, but when you had that debate with that Mexican guy, right? You killed him. You killed him in that debate. You actually destroyed him in that debate. And every time you made a point, what did Adam do? He had to fact check everything you did, but not the Mexican guy. He never fact checked him, not once. But anything you brought up that was correct, he always had to go back and try to prove you wrong because he was cooking. You know what I'm saying? Because you are the one of the ones that was on there that when you even debated that white guy, you killed him too. You know what I'm saying? He spit facts. And this
Yeah,
is
and
why. Go ahead. Go ahead.
the thing is, I just look at things from all the different perspectives. I look at white people. Oh, white people might say blacks are degenerate. Da-da-da-da. You know what? Yeah, there are many blacks who are degenerate, but I know that the degenerate blacks, most of them were created, but because by black people being stripped of their ability to discipline their children.
I agree with
That
that.
that creates a degenerate. Because if your mom or your daddy can't whoop your ass without risk of losing you, they have to let you become a degenerate because there's nothing they can do.
hmm That's
So,
why I say, like, I've been watching you, and I was trying to, get up here to talk to you to let you know, like, I'm a fan of you. I finally found your page probably like a couple months ago. I just searching around on the internet, but I finally, became a subscriber. So I'm tuned into anything you put out there because I know that you're one of the ones that really spit facts and really, what I'm saying, put these people in these places that think they can just run fake narratives and try to, put wrong information out there that's not true. I mean, at
but
the end of the day, go ahead, I'm sorry.
that's what the Bible says. It says in the last days, men will gather teachers for themselves to have their ears tickled. People want to be told what they want to hear. They don't want the facts or the truth. Like this guy right here. This guy said, Brandon, you block everyone who doesn't agree with you. You can dish it out, but you can't take it. Then this guy down here, I said, no one is blocked on this channel. This guy, Charles Gaines said, Gabon said, you blocked me. I said, how did I block you if I could see your comments? These dudes just make up lies, bro. If you're blocked, I can't see your comments. So, but that's black people. Black people have a superhuman ability to operate on two contradictory ideas or opinions at the same time. They can tell you the truth, then tell you a lie, then tell you a truth that proves that the lie that they told was a lie. Like, it's weird, man. But when you're smart enough to catch on to it, they get offended. They play the victim. It's like a woman. She try to use you for your money. When you find out she's using you for your money, she starts crying and playing victim. But single mother syndrome. But guys, look, we're gonna have to call it a night right here. Thank y'all all for joining me. This was a great stream. I love the conversation. Even Lewis got his old bus driving ass up here. But I'm telling y'all, man, it's a lot of people out there like Lewis, bro, who literally just cognitive dissonance. 1 minute they say one thing, next minute they say something that contradicts what they just said. And I'll leave you with this. 2 years ago, black people said we should let Venezuelans in the country into America because Venezuelans were seeking asylum from oppression and violence. Now that Trump has arrested the person that were running from, right, to seek asylum in America, now black people are defending the person who was oppressing the Venezuelans, which was causing them to run out the country to seek asylum. This don't make no sense. No matter how you twist it, flip it, it don't make no sense. We're being arbitrary Negroes trying to come down on whatever side we think is going to win the argument. And even if it's the losing side, we're coming down on whatever side we think gives us the moral high ground to try to judge others. And that's not the way to live your life. Thank y'all so much for watching this. I appreciate everything you do for me in this channel. Till the next time, peace.
Salute.